Hello and welcome to Interview Skills. Now, introduction, I think that has been clear now, so you know what to expect in this module. And we're going to take this eventually step by step, okay? So no need to rush. You can always go back and rewind it. If you have any questions, you can of course ask me in Telegram group, you can ask me on WhatsApp, you can use that in your one-on-one as well. But it's important that you should have questions, okay? Now, interview skills, basically what I'm going to cover today is how do you stand out? See, normally you would receive probably thousands or lakhs of resumes for one particular job, at least in our country, right? But how would you ensure the fact that you stand out of the crowd and people notice you? People who are looking to hire, they look at you and stop at you instead of keep going through the other people to find out if they are the better ones than you. And that is something that we're going to discuss. So we're going to first identify how the process is, how the screening is done, how candidates are shortlisted, what is observed, okay, what is expected. And then we are going to work on what should we do to overcome these, right? Make sense? Yeah. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, the first thing that you should learn is about the interview process. What is an interview process? Now, the interview process, if you ask me honestly, is for the companies to streamline or rather find out the right candidate for themselves. And there are, of course, different processes for it. Some of you will have to go through different trainings or probably different tests, depending upon the industry, depending upon the role, and of course, the experience that you have. Based on your experience as well, they will give you different or probably difficult questions to answer. Okay, that is what the interview process looks like. Basically, where they will gather everybody and then they will, they will go through screening, of course, and then they will find out who is the one that they will be going for the next round of interview. Moving on, what about the kinds of interview? Well, during COVID times, everything got revamped. So the types of interviews, of course, also got revamped. But now I think the world is slowly going back to its original form, wherein the traditional interview, the one-on-one where you sit in front of the interviewer and answer questions, I think that is coming back. And the serial interview happens usually in the IT sector, wherein, the candidates are called in. They're usually walk-in. So you are walked in and at 11 a.m. and then you stay throughout the end till about 5 or 6 or even 8 and then go back with the offer letter. So that's also prevalent these days. The other one which has reduced now, it used to be probably more than 95%, but now of course the offices are opening up and people are encouraging everybody to come visit them in the office and then talk. So the phone or Skype interview of course has reduced, but people still use it. So if you are applying for, say, an opportunity abroad, then phone or Skype interview is the way to go about it. Okay, so these are the types of interviews. But how do you prepare? What should we do to prepare? And that is something that we will learn in the coming slides. Ready? The first thing that you need to know about is that you are screened first. That means there will be a group of people, probably who'll be sitting in one recruiter who'll be going through your resume, and then in an order of what probably the experience is or how much or how urgent they want the candidate, they'll be streamlining and then screening your resume. But don't worry, we have a resume builder module as well, which will help you build a better resume so you stand out. Okay, so just by looking at the resume, they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh, okay, this one stands out the rest. I think let's call him first. And that is what most of the companies do. Okay, so your resume is very, very important because the first thing, of course, screening, of course, they'll look at you and they meet you. But the first thing that they screen is your resume. Then in a normal meeting, say it's a one-on-one meeting, and then they meet up with you, they talk to you, they discuss things with you. That is when you will find out that they will be screening you. That means they'll be going through your resume, they'll be talking to you, they'll be going through the answers that you're giving them and screening whether you are the right candidate for the job. You got it? That's how it is. So what should be our first step? Our first step, ladies and gentlemen, should be these simple 3 things. Number 1, ready? Research. If you want your impression to be the one that you are the right candidate for this and You want to tell them that your buck stops here. That means your search stops here. I am the right candidate. Then you must find out about the company first. First, do the research and do thorough research. When I say research, ladies and gentlemen, I don't just mean you find out about the origin of the company when we start, nothing. No, everything about the company. When did it start? How many board of directors are there? Who is a CEO? What is the qualification of a CEO? What was the turnover last year? What's the total employee strength? What is that they're excel into? What is that they're struggling into? What was their results last quarter? You get the drift, right? Research means everything that you need to know about that company. The more you research, the better prepared you will be. You know why? Because if you already know the company, then it becomes easier for you to put your answers correctly in the right fashion. For instance, if you know last year they did not meet their quota or did not meet their targets or did not meet their financial ends, then you need to showcase that how you helped in your previous job meeting the targets or the financial targets. You see that? This is how you relate. That is the reason why research is important. The other bit, of course, is if you truly are serious about the job, then you will find out the company that you're going to spend 8 to 10 hours every day. And if you haven't gotten that time to go through it, then it shows your seriousness as well. Okay. What's the second one? The second one is review the employer. Okay. When I say review the employer, that means go ahead, find out about the employer. Who is he? Okay, similar as research. Who is he, or who are they if they're more? Okay, what are their aspirations? What are their values? What are their mission? What is their vision? All of this information you should have it with you, so it becomes easier when you're talking to them, and you can float, or rather, you can put these vision and mission statements from the company, stating that telling them that you already know this and you're working on this, and that you are aware of their vision and mission statement. It really speaks volumes if you're able to do this during the first few stages itself. See, the initial stage when you talk to the person is the most important one. And that is when the interviewer is giving you their 100% attention. And at that time, you want to make sure that you have the right impression and you give the right answers. And not just the right answer, you also show them that you are the right candidate. Now, how will that happen? That'll happen only through practice. See, so far, you have not gone for the interview. This is just preparing. You are just preparing yourself right now. So give yourself some time to research, find out about the employer, review the employer. What are the aspirations? What are the dreams? What are the mission? What is the vision? Everything. What is they looking for? What is their next target for the coming 10 years or 5 years? Everything that you need to know. And then practice. Now, how would you practice? You need to have, or probably you need to conduct a lot of mock interviews for yourself along with your friend or a colleague, or you can also get in touch with me during your one-on-one and I can help you with this practice. I can ask you a few questions. Some of the community members have gone through it, let me tell you that. Okay. And they have been shaken to their core, because the whole idea why we are not able to clear interviews is because of poor preparation. It has nothing to do with, most of the time, nothing to do with our experience. I'm telling you honestly, there are times when I have hired people who have less experience but are able to impress me in an interview. And I have rejected those candidates who are high on experience but couldn't answer my questions. That is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, my suggestion to all of you will be pay attention to your first steps. So research. Spend enough time. You need to be spending enough time researching about the job that you have applied for. That means going through the JD, going through everything. What is the job entails to? What is that you need to do? What is the expectation? Everything you need to know. Review the employer, find out about the goals and missions and vision statement, find out about how the company is doing in the last 5 years or 10 years. And then towards the end, practice. Practice as much as possible. That is the only way you will be able to go ahead and clear the interview. Okay? That's how you in fact practice, so you become better. It is when you approach, you would not be nervous. That's what you need to do. What about the second one? Well, second one is the most important one, because if you have done the first one correctly, then second one becomes easy. But if your first steps, if you haven't spent enough time, if you haven't spent enough time learning about the company, if you haven't spent enough time learning about the employer, if you haven't practiced, then second step is fatal. Okay, let's find out what are the second steps. Ready? Here we go.